It is also personally a dangerous way of doing things. One of the important aspects of Swadhisthana is, if your Swadhisthana is established in a certain way, your ability to create. At the highest level, you can create a god if you wish. The next dimension in the 7 dimensions is naturally Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana means the abode of the self. When Swadhisthana sadhana is done, it gives you a certain freedom. The word, in this country, the freedom movement was referred to as Swatantra. Swatantra means… Swatantra means a technology of the self. Swa is self, tantra means a technique or a technology, a way to become free. Because the biggest bondage is in the way we are reproduced, and the biggest urge is the way the urge for reproduction binds people in body, mind and emotion. So Swatantra means Swadhisthana and Swatantra connected, that you have found a tantra to release the self from these kind of troubles or these kind of compulsions, because now your self is totally free. One of the important aspects of Swadhisthana is, if your Swadhisthana is established in a certain way, your ability to create. At the lowest level, it's purely reproductive. At the highest level, you can create a god if you wish. The technology of god-making came from this because somebody has absolute control over the Swadhisthana, and one can establish what is considered a divine entity. Of all the things that we can do in this system, Swadhisthana is among the most complex and beautiful way of doing things, but it is also personally a dangerous way of doing things, because if you do too much of it, you may have yourself, but you may lose your body. A beautiful self, but no body. This may happen to you if you go too much on it or if you lose control over it. Many who created divine entities generally felt creating one divine entity was good enough and they gave it all and they're left with it, or they gave it all and became dissipated because of that. Some retain the possibility of doing more. Only if all the other dimensions are on, one can deliver a god. You can deliver a god and still live and still maintain potency only if all the other 6 are equally active. Only then one can do this. Well, somebody delivered us, that is also important. We are not saying that is not important. That is also important, that's why we are sitting here. That is also an important aspect, but the highest level of delivery would be delivering a divine entity. So one dimension of Swadhisthana is also this, that if you allow or if you strive to take Swadhisthana above its natural compulsions, which are essentially regenerative, you must understand this. Whatever is referred to as sexuality is not about sexuality. Nature is instigating you to reproduce. In modern societies, people have made it out as if it has a purpose of its own. Yes, people are using it to bind themselves to each other, but fundamentally the longing in the body is to reproduce. If this was not there, we wouldn't be here today. But if you're wanting to go somewhere else other than being a cycle of life, other than being a natural cycle of life, if you want to go beyond the cycle, then transcending these dimensions become important.